Okay. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bay Run CookSmart pilot program's very first virtual cooking demonstration. We're really excited to have you here with us today. And we are also really excited just to hear about your experiences with the cooktops and everything like that. Hola, buenas noches y bienvenidos a nuestro programa virtual y demostración de cocina para el programa de Parent Cook Smart Pilot Program. Estamos muy emocionados que ustedes estén aquí con nosotros y vamos a empezar. All right. So welcome again. Bienvenidos. In the chat, please share where you're tuning in from tonight. We're really excited that everyone kind of has the opportunity to tune in from wherever they are. So if you could let us know. All right, entonces les pregunté a todos que en el chat si pueden por favor compartir desde qué ciudad están viendo a nuestro programa. Entonces veo, I see people tuning in tonight from Discovery Bay, Bay Point, Brentwood, Concord, Antioch, hello Antioch, Brentwood, Pinole, Concord, Antioch, Antioch, Oakley, Concord, Richmond, Richmond. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We are so happy to see you from all over the county. Yeah, that's really exciting. All right. So let's get started with some introductions. Like I mentioned, my name is Ileana Vitrez. I'm the language and program specialist at Sustainable Contra Costa. And I've probably been the person you've been emailing with throughout this program. Me llamo Eliana Batres, trabajo para Sustainable Contra Costa, soy la especialista de lenguaje y nuestros diferentes programas. Next, we have Doug Blakely. He's our Director of Operations, and you'll hear from him in a second. We are also accompanied by our fellow staff member, Chelsea Height. She is the Education Coordinator. So para nuestro equipo tenemos también a Doug y Chelsea. And then from East Bay Health tonight, we have Chef Cindy Gershon and Chef Jasmine Santana. So también tenemos unas chefs con nosotros. Entonces, vamos a empezar. Las cocineras Cindy y Jasmine. All right. Okay. Before we get started, most of you are CookSmart participants, so thank you. I just want to remind you of the program requirements. So the first one being attend a cooking demonstration. So by attending this one, you fulfill this requirement. If you've already come to one of our cooking demos, awesome, it's good to see you again. And then complete 3 monthly surveys. The first one was sent out last week, and it is due by this Friday. If you haven't had a chance to do this yet, the QR code is on the top. So just to reiterate, once we're done with this cooking demonstration, you've fulfilled that requirement. And everyone who fulfills the requirements gets to keep their equipment at the end of the program. Entonces, nomás les quería recordar de los diferentes requisitos de nuestro programa. La primera es que tienen que asistir a una demostración de cocina, entonces con asistir esta satisfecha ese requisito. Y también el segundo requisito es completar 3 encuestas mensuales. Lo mandamos la semana pasada y tiene que ser entregado este viernes, el 16 de agosto. Y entonces, si todavía no lo has hecho, puedes escanear el código QR ahí y pues lo pueden hacer así. All right. Ahora vamos a hablar con Doug Blakely y nos va a hablar sobre los beneficios de inducción. So next, Next, we have my colleague Doug Blakely, who will be talking about the benefits of induction, and then we will pass it over to the chefs afterwards.
Thank you, Ellie. Really appreciate everybody being here tonight. This has been exciting for us to be able to put on a virtual event. We're learning how to do this, so your comments throughout the course of the evening by adding them to the chat, or if you have questions, please raise a hand so that we can answer any questions that you may have. For us, we're hoping that you'll learn a lot tonight. You'll learn something from Cindy and from Jasmine about how to use the induction cooktops to get the best results. For many of you, this is your first experience with induction cooking, which is very different than what you're used to. And it is, in fact, it uses a magnetic field, which is why the pots that you use for it have to be steel or they have to be cast iron. You can't use aluminum by itself. In many cases nowadays, it turns out that they're building induction ready cookware that has an aluminum layer in it because aluminum transmits heat really well, but they have to have steel in it for it to be able to be magnetic. The advantages of this, if you've been using the cooktop for a while and have started to get used to it, it does require that you get it adjust to it a little bit, but you'll probably find that your kitchen is staying cooler because the heat is going directly into the pan and directly into the food instead of a good portion of the heat going into the air. One of the big advantages that you can't see is the fact that not only does natural gas from cooktops and other appliances around your house actually leak into your living space when they're not on, when they're not being used or burned. But when you burn natural gas, it creates all sorts of what are called combustion products, which go into the air that you're breathing. And it is turning out that that is a major source of health problems in homes nowadays. So there's a lot of reasons for us to want to switch over. The drive towards electrification is another reason, in the fact that we do want to get rid of fossil fuels, which are adding CO2 to the environment. And a couple other advantages of the induction cooktops are much less fire hazard. You're not going to leave a burner on that might, in fact, catch fire later in the evening and burn your kitchen or house down. And especially in cases where you've got children and perhaps those of us who are a little bit older around the house, much less opportunity for you to be burned. Because the only thing that's actually hot in this case is the pot and the food itself. The burner itself cools off very, very quickly after you take the pots off. So lots of reasons for us to be able to or to want to introduce you to induction cooking so that you'll become a fan of it. And then over the course of this particular program, we would like very much to get your input on, what did you like? What didn't you like? What might it take for us to be able to come up with an incentive program that would make it easier for you to actually convert the cooking in your home. The BayREN program and also the federal programs at this point do offer some incentives, but basically the feeling is that generally those incentives are not sufficient. So part of the purpose of this program is to see if we can improve on that with your input. I'd like to turn this over to Cindy and Jasmine now. We're going to be preparing a couple recipes this evening. Some of you, I think, probably have the ingredients at home and may be following along. We certainly encourage you to ask questions, strike up a conversation with Cindy and with Jasmine. Let's see if we can learn something this evening. Thank you very much for coming, and I'll check in at the end.
Really fast, I want to give a translation of your overview on induction cooking before we hand it over to Chef Cindy. Entonces, mi colega Doug estaba hablando sobre los diferentes ventajas y beneficios de usar la tecnología de inducción. La inducción funciona con una reacción magnético y eso hace que se calienta la estufa y la placa, y también con el calor generado por las piezas de, um, oops, sorry, my screen is turning off. Okay, okay, lo siento. Okay, entonces, mi colega Doug estaba hablando con ustedes sobre las diferentes ventajas y beneficios de la inducción. Um, y algunas cositas sobre la inducción. Entonces, la tecnología de inducción calienta directamente los utensilios de cocina mediante campos magnéticos, mientras que una gran cantidad de calor generado por los elementos de las estufas tradicionales, como bobinas eléctricas o llamas de gas, se desperdicia y calienta el aire circundante en su casa. Um, Hay diferentes beneficios de usar la inducción. Son muy seguras, especialmente en entornos donde hay pues niños pequeños y todos. Es más energéticamente eficiente. Um, Ser eficiente energéticamente también resulta en ahorrar dinero. Además, cuando usas a las placas de inducción, eso mejora la calidad de aire interior en su casa porque no está como cocinando el gas natural, um, que aunque no la estás usando, todavía da contaminantes al aire. Además, para funcionar, la cocina por inducción requiere utensilios compatibles como hierro fundido, cast iron y acero inoxidable magnético, so magnetic stainless steel. Y esos son dos ejemplos de materiales que son compatibles con inducción. Como participantes de este programa, todos ustedes tienen utensilios de cocina y también si quieren ver si pues las tienen si ya las tienen en su casa, puedes usar un imán, como un imán del refri, y colocarlo al fondo de su utensilio de cocina para ver si es magnético. Entonces, si sí es magnético, sirve para, um, para esta unidad y esta tecnología. Ahora voy a dar la micrófono a la chef Cindy Gershon y ella va a hablar con ustedes mientras está cocinando.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chef Cindy, and I'm here in Lafayette in my wonderful kitchen. By the way, Elena, I love all those plates and cups and everything behind you. You're so colorful. It's gorgeous. I love that. Well, welcome. I am going to show you a couple of recipes that I do right on top of this little stove that I love. Jasmine is going to be doing the temperature for you, and we're going to do this together, but I'm going to talk to you anytime. You can just go ahead and either, can they talk directly to me or raise their hand or something if they have a question, and then you can let them. Yeah, just put up your little hand if you want to ask me a question, and then Elena will call on you and we'll stop. While I'm doing this, I'm going to be teaching you about cooking too, because that's what I love to do. So we're going to start off with our lentil stew. It's a 1 pot. Ooh, nice.
Oops, just while we turn this off. Oops. All right. You can unmute the computer. Okay, there we go.
Good. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Good. Okay, so Jasmine is going to turn this on, and she's going to turn it on high heat. What I've done here is I have gotten everything on that list that I gave you, and I have it all laid out. So I go boom, boom, boom. So the first thing we do is
we have some really bad feedback right now. Can you turn down the sound on the phone, please?
It might be just because it's close to the induction, which has like a magnetic field.
Yeah.
Ah,
Maybe
that
we
sounds
do the
correct.
Maybe we do the sound on the phone. Would that be better? Shut the
Um,
sound
I
off.
think just by being close to it, that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna move you guys over a little bit more. Okay, so now we know you do not do cooking classes with the stove close. Okay, is that better? Can you hear better?
A little better, but not really.
Okay, so I'm gonna move this over here. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Any better?
Yeah.
I
Better,
think you
guys?
may need to make it higher. You know, like if you put your computer on
com-
books or something.
With the
Like
computer.
on a book, just like a filter.
You ready? Is that better?
Yes. Yeah. Looks good. Did she freeze for you guys too? Yeah.
Okay,
On the
so
computer, but
it's
we
already
can
heated
see
up
the.
as we're
There
talking,
we go.
and then this, you can see it's not hot. First thing you do is you do all your onions, your mirepoix, which is onion, celery, and carrots. Ooh, nice sizzle, that's what we want. So what I'm gonna do, can you get that in there? I'm stirring this around. And we're on 10. Can you see what we're on right here? I'm a chef from a restaurant. I like everything on high. You may like it on low, whatever works for you. So we're gonna, this is the base for all soups and stocks. Stews. It's onion, carrot, and celery. Gonna give it a lot of flavor. We're gonna let this cook for a minute. And I don't want it to lose, the moisture. I don't want to cook it down. So I'm putting the lid on it, and you can see the steam that comes up is the moisture that's inside of your vegetables. I want it to stay in there. So I'm going to cook them till they're tender. And that shouldn't take very long. These stoves are really good because they heat up really quickly. And if you feel like it's burning, all you got to do is pull it off, lower it, put it back on.
We got a
and
question.
adjust. Does anybody have any questions?
The question is, which recipe are you making first?
Oh, I'm making the coconut curry lentil stew.
The red lentil curry.
Okay.
And then
on 10.
the second question was, what temperature did you start with? And you had said 10.
10.
Do you want to say any
10.
more about
Can you
that?
see that?
Yeah.
So this is going, what I like is this goes really quick. I don't know if you can see those veggies in there. They're already starting. It's not about browning this in your stews. It's about releasing. You want to have the oil, the fat, and the vegetables to go together. All of your vitamins and minerals are in your veggies. The more veggies you put in, the better it is. Anything that's a fat soluble vitamin is going to be your vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K. Well, you've got vitamin K in those carrots. If they're fat soluble, then you have to use fat with it so your body can break it down. The other vitamins, all your vitamin C's and B's, those are water soluble. So you can just cook them without any fat or just throw them in. But when people eat yogurt, non-fat yogurt, and it's infused with vitamin D, your body's not going to break it down as efficiently without the fat in there. All right, so this is about right now. I just want it kind of tender, and that's where we're at. Kind of tender. Now, the next thing you do is you take your spices, and I've got all the spices, and I think you had a list of the spices that are on there. You can see that. And what you want to do is you want to toast all your spices. This dry spices, this is what's going to bring out the flavor. I always toast all of my spices. You don't put it in at the last because you want it to be infused with the oil right into your veggies. So I'm going to let this go for a minute. Okay. Ooh, can you smell that? I was gonna say, can you smell it yet? It smells fabulous. Okay. So you can see it's kind of dark. Oh, the aromas. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Okay, the next thing we're gonna put in is the tomato paste. This is gonna give it a nice, rich flavor. So I'm putting a little tomato paste in this.
Everyone, you can see the two videos, right? You can see
see
the unit
everything?
on the bottom and Chef Cindy.
Yeah, can you guys see everything?
Yeah.
Good. Thanks, Tiffany. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, so I've got like a half a can of tomato paste, you know, the little 6 ounce for this. And then I'm gonna put a whole can of tomatoes, just the whole tomatoes with just the whole tomatoes. I'm gonna throw this in here. And I'm gonna just kind of chop up the whole tomato. There's tomato base on both of these recipes that I have here today. Chopping this up. Can you put that down?
Um,
Kind of going really fast.
could we get you a little closer to the computer, please? Your voice got a little quieter.
Okay, how's that? Is it too close or is that okay? Can you guys get me? Okay, so right away I see that this is bubbling a lot. I can turn it down like that. And you can't do that on a regular stove. You have to pull it off. But what's great about these little stoves is you just turn it down and it immediately goes down. Found his tiny picture on the top, the other visuals from Pot. Can you see everything? Okay, so you shouldn't be seeing it.
Yeah, I think she wants you to like display it, like tag both pictures
Looking at
so
that.
her
Can you
vision
see
can
that?
Can you
Mhm.
see them
Okay.
next to each other now?
No, all I see is one person, the cook, the person that's cooking.
You should see Chef Cindy, and then you should also see the unit right there.
I have a different recipe that
Okay,
pinned out for the
now-
curry.
Yeah, I see the unit.
Okay,
You can pin one of the videos to make it bigger on your screen.
okay. So really the cool part of this stove is that you can adjust it down. So if it's bubbling and popping on you, you can adjust it down. The next thing I'm gonna put in is my garbanzo beans. And then I have these lentils that I'm gonna put in. This is a wonderful high protein dish. All you gotta do is serve it over some rice if you want.
Can we see it now, guys?
Can you see it?
Yeah,
You can see
Yes.
both of them? Okay.
So you see it's kind of thick. I'm gonna put in my frozen spinach or fresh, but this is so good. Now this is what's gonna make it amazing is I'm going to put in the coconut cream. And this is a good fat, especially for children, well, for all of us. We all need good fats. Remember I said you need fat in order to absorb vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin E. Are you using cooked lentils? I slightly cook the lentils myself, but you can buy them at Trader Joe's. And you see how this is making this creamy? So basically, this is done. That's how quick this goes. You can just let it sit. It also freezes really well. And that's it. All done.
Somebody wants to know if the handles are hot.
No. Handles are not hot.
And notice that as soon
No
as you,
heat.
as soon as you picked it up, the heat went off.
The heat went off.
Mm.
See that? And I'm able to do this. I mean, it's a little warm here, but you're not going to burn yourself. Okay. There, you just put it back on. And if you want to just put it on simmer, you just take it all the way down to heat and just put the lid on. And would anybody like a bite? It's delicious. It's delicious.
It is. I would say that, for
Okay,
sure.
so I need you to get a spoon and come over.
Okay.
So, I mean, could this be quicker? This could not be quicker. Okay, here you go. So here's a spoon. Come on, Doug. Try this.
I've had this before. It's great every time. Better for it. Thank you. It's great.
Yeah, awesome. Guess what you're taking home, Doug?
Yes, you can use a cast iron skillet too, because
Yes,
that one's magnetic.
Cast iron is fine. So I'm gonna take this. It's all done. Okay, I'm gonna move this to the side. This one's my favorite.
So
Yes.
the first recipe was originally red lentil stew
Yes.
or curry, and that's what this one was that you just made.
Yes, that was the red lentils, but we put garbanzo beans in there. Did you see the whole recipe?
Yes, we had a. Go ahead. Whoever was gonna go ahead.
That's the question.
No, I didn't see the
And,
recipe. I came in late. I was having trouble getting the oh boy, Zoom.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh, sorry. I think they're recording this. Where are you located?
in Richmond.
In Richmond?
Uh-huh.
You know, you can come anytime on Monday or Tuesday to the kitchen. I'll show you. I've got the stoves here. If you want, you're welcome to come out any Monday or Tuesday. And if you come out, well, just let us know ahead of time. We go to White Pony Express and we get a ton of vegetables. You let us know you're coming and we'll have bags of produce for you to take back to wherever you are
Oh, okay.
for free.
Yeah, sounds good.
Just come on down. They'll post where we're at East Bay Health. It's in Lafayette, 911 Araga Road. This is my kitchen and we are inside of a clinic and I have 2 doctors that I work with. We're also a nonprofit. So if you don't have any medical or you want them to check your blood pressure or type 2 diabetes, come on in and see us. And then
Do
they'll
that.
send you over to me, but you can always come and cook with me, any of you. Okay? So
Okay.
now we put the stove on 10 again. Is there any other questions? And I'm really fun to cook and I feed you when you come to. Okay.
And
so I'm
yes,
taking-
everyone, we can definitely send you the recipe. You should have gotten it beforehand too, and we'll send it again. So all good for that.
So I'm pouring my oil in. The cool part about this stove is that you don't have to wait for the pan to heat up. It's like done and you can see the smoke coming off. Again, the first thing I'm going to put in, and you can hear that sizzling. You saw how fast I put that on. So this is the mirepoix. You can get it at Trader Joe's in a little container. I think it's like $4. And it's the onions, the celery, and the carrots all done. But I like to chop it up myself. But if you don't have time, you can get everything right at Trader Joe's. Okay, so again, I'm going to kind of sweat the veggies. Sweating means we put a lid on it. And instead of it evaporating away, all the water is going to stay in here. And that's sweating your vegetables. Sauteing is when it's off and it's high heat and you're sauteing and you want it to dry up. Can you restate the times and dates we could come? Oh, I'm here every Monday and Tuesday. We get here about 10 a.m. and I'm here till 3. So if you let us know when Jasmine is working with me one day, next week you're here on Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday. Okay. Whenever Jasmine's here, she stops by the White Pony Express and they give us bags of vegetables. So if you let me know, then whatever we get eggs, we get milk, we get all kinds of veggies. Let me know. We'll pick up extra stuff for you. And then we'll teach you on this stove how to cook or anything
And
else.
then we had one more question and it was, what
Where can I
temperature is
purchase the
medium
top?
high?
Okay, you can get these at TJ Maxx. You can get, right, TJ Maxx?
Any place.
Any place.
Any place, but in this case, you can get them at TJ Maxx and the other home goods stores and so on. And a typical pan like the one that you're seeing used right now will cost you less than $20.
Yeah. So you can see this has gone real quick. And again,
when you turn this on, I think you had said medium high.
or you can do whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with 10. because I know how to move things around. And you can also just shake it too if you put the lid on. Okay, so this is steamed up good. These vegetables, because the heat is intense in there, but it's not intense all around. So now the next thing you do whenever you're sauteing up your veggies, your onions, your celery, your parsley, your garlic, you want to then put your herbs, all your herbs, because these are dry, and you want to toast them without the lid on, because it's going to bring out all the oils and flavors. And we're just going to let this kind of toast up, and it's going to infuse right into everything else that we do. Let that go for a minute. Wow. Can you guys see how cool this looks?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, there was the question about using the temperature setting. There are two different settings on the cooktops. One is the power mode, and then the other one is temperature mode. So it looks like Cindy's cooking specifically in the power mode rather than a specific temperature. And then the question was if 5 is like medium high. So according to the manual, it says 5, like just flat 5 is medium low, but 5.5 up is medium high.
Yeah. I cook on 10, and then I put the temperature on to hold it. And you know that the danger zone when you're cooking or reheating, the danger zone is from 40 degrees to 140 degrees. So that's why then I'll put it, if I'm going to hold something or I'm going to reheat it, I'm going to set it for 145, 150 degrees when I reheat it up. As soon as it reaches 155 degrees, then I'm going to, when it's a reheat, then I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to hold it at 140 degrees. For those of you that are with children, and sometimes they come in and they want to check the temperature of the food that you're feeding the children, that's how you do it. So you want to hold it, you want to reheat it up, and then you want to hold it at that temperature. And that's what the temperature gauge is. Cooking, I think, is way different for me. It's different. Okay. So is anybody else, is a saucepan that's whiter than the cooking surfaces not recommended? Yeah, no.
Well, the only part that will heat is the part that is inside the rings on your induction cooktop. And so if you put a very large pan on there, you'll find that that the center part of it will be hot, but the outer ring might be significantly cooler because it wasn't actually heating.
Yeah. So but this is where you're going to learn your pots. Like I've learned that if I want something that I'm going to put on the outside that I don't want it to cook as much, I'll move it to the side. And like you'll see when I do this, I'm putting Swiss chard in with this. So this is the ends of the Swiss chard that are kind of tough. They take longer to cook. So I'm going to saute those in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and make a ring. And I'm going to pop my ground turkey or ground beef, whichever one, right into the center. And I'm going to go just like this. I'm going to get this all nice and brown. And then I'm going to incorporate those veggies right back into it. And then I'll put my tomato sauce in there. Then I'll put my mushrooms. I'll saute that around. And the last thing I put in is my Swiss chard. You can also roast your mushrooms in the oven and then throw them in. That's really nice at the end. Sometimes I'll steam up carrots and then I'll toss a little oil and dill and I'll roast those along with the mushrooms, and I'll throw that really nicely in there. And then you got big chunks for veggies. And it depends on if you're giving it to children, small children, but little kids, small kids that I work with, they love roasted carrots. But just remember to steam it first before you roast it. Otherwise, it'll dry up and it won't taste good. And that's a secret to roasting good carrots. Yeah, if you come out, I'll teach you how to roast, how to make all kinds of good stuff. Okay, so I like mine kind of chunky. This is all done. So I think I'm gonna do the
All
mushrooms
done.
now.
Yeah.
I get all excited when I'm cooking. I love to cook. Okay, so I got the mushrooms in there. Yummy, yummy. Now I'm gonna put the tomato paste. And for this one, I use crushed tomatoes. So I'm gonna do a whole can of crushed tomatoes. I'm gonna move this around. This is almost all done. So you're just gonna, all of this you can do the day before. Now let it sit in the fridge. And then just, all you gotta do is put your temperature on 155, bring it up till the temperature is 155, lower it to 140 and it can sit. Board of Health comes in, they're gonna check if you have pots of things sitting there, they're gonna check the temperature. And just for you too, because you don't want bacteria growing. By the way, if you come, I taught foods and nutrition at Mount Data High School in Concord for 12 years. And I'm also a chef and a restaurant owner. And so I can teach you everything safety and sanitation in your kitchen. So this one's pretty much done. Yummy. This one you can put zucchini in there, but I'm choosing to do Swiss chard. This is the time of the year for Swiss chard.
Okay.
So wonderful. I like the greens. I like tomatoes and greens and basil and lots of herbs. So if you're going to use fresh herbs, it's 2 to 1. So if you would use 1 tablespoon of dried, you'd use 2 tablespoons of fresh. So we're going to just kind of move this around. Does anybody have any questions? Everybody coming for dinner? I'm using cast iron and my meat is still raw and veggies still firm. We haven't added the sauce. So when you did your veggies, did you make sure, did you put the top on the lid on so that they steamed? Because you want your veggies to be a little bit tender.
Rich family, if you want to unmute and talk to Chef Cindy,
talk
you
to me.
totally can.
Talk to me.
Okay. They said right when you did it, and they've been cooking at temperature 10.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, so I don't know, I was following along. Looks like my meat's cooked now, but the veggies are firm and I did chop them up pretty fine.
So did you do the veggies and then put the lid on and steam them till they were
Yes.
tender?
Yeah, I followed when you were covering and then when you'd stir and then when you'd put the herbs on.
Okay, so this is all done, as you can see. And now I'm just gonna let it sit and then I'm gonna put it on warm at 140. So you followed what I was doing. Your veggies are still hard, your celery, carrots, and onion?
Yeah, I can add the sauce. The meat's done now. I can add the sauce and the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yours have it's gone
Did
so
you-
quick.
Did you put in the herbs?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's okay because they'll all be tender in 10 minutes anyway.
Okay.
It could also be because if you're cooking with cast iron, right? So cast iron is thicker than what Chef Cindy is using.
Yeah, maybe that's why my
Where are you
It's still
located
pot's
at?
too small. Discovery Bay.
Can you come in to see me?
Yeah, are you Fridays? I'm off on Fridays.
You know what? You just let me know the day and I'll meet you here. And
Okay.
then bring in what your equipment is
Okay.
and we'll go through recipes. In fact, bring in whatever food you want me to show you to make and
Okay.
I'll show you.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you're Monday, Tuesdays there.
I'm Monday,
Otherwise-
Tuesday. I'm always here Monday and Tuesday, but if you just
Okay.
say, hey, I can come on a Friday,
Okay.
I'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah, and if a couple of, the other people want to come with you, it's so much fun to come in and cook with me.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Awesome. I
Can
appreciate that.
confirm, very fun going in there. Thank you for your question. It's so cool that you're cooking along. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
We have a question from a couple minutes ago. What does danger zone refer to?
That is when bacteria grows. So your refrigerator needs to be not 39 degrees or less in your refrigerator, and you want to bring things down. The longest food can be out is a total of 4 hours. So if I'm cooking right now, as soon as it goes into the danger zone, up or down, it can only last there for up to 4 hours. Okay. So when people put out a buffet and they put it on there and then the temperature drops down to like 90 degrees, 100, the bacteria is growing. Food poisoning is what we're looking for. So E. coli and such will die from the heat, but it'll come back if it's in the danger zone. The danger zone is 40 degrees to like 139. You want it to be over that to keep the bacteria level down, especially for people with compromised immune systems and children, elderly, and people with compromised immune systems. They cannot fight off the bugs.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So everybody get a thermometer and keep a thermometer around when you're doing your food, testing it, making sure that it gets high enough heat and then holding it. And that's what's great about these. If you have a couple of them, you can put your pots, your food right on there and just let it, it'll stay at that temperature without burning. By the way, these are not expensive. If you go, I think you can get them at like Home Depot. They're like 60, 70, $80. You just have to make sure that in each plug, you can only put one thing. It has to be designated to that plug. So I've got a couple of them around the kitchen. So they're terrific for holding food hot and cooking. As you can see, this was like nothing. Okay, I need you to taste again. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Oh, terrible.
Terrible. Okay, so this has been held. And it's, of course, these flavors, the tomato and such, as it sits longer and infuses, it just gets amazing. So this might be, but it's still good. Still good. Ready?
Excellent.
Good. I have so many recipes. And the cool thing about coming out to cook with me is you can say, this is the flavor. I don't know what to do with chicken. What can I do here? Everything tastes the same. What can I do for kids? We can show you everything. You just got to come to me. That's all.
Okay.
Any other questions? Soups, stews, frying up meats are really good. You can, what we do sometimes, has anybody used 5-spice seasoning? You see it in the little jar at the grocery store, 5-spice. It's kind of got a little bit of an Asian flavor. We chop up the leg meat, pulled skinless, boneless leg meat. We chop it into 3 pieces. We put a little bit of oil on the meat, not much. And then we put the 5-spice on there and chop up an onion, mix it all together and let it sit for about 15, 20 minutes. And then we pan fry it right in here. And then you could roast some veggies that go with it. Delicious. Kids love it. They like things that are flavorful. Any questions?
Not here, no.
Let's see. Do you offer any children, teen classes, trying to get my teenager? Come on down. Yes, we do. We do. All we need to do is get a group together, or if you want to bring them, let me know on a Saturday. We charge $50. You can bring the food, or we can do the food here, and then I'll teach you everything you need to do.
Yeah.
I teach on Wednesdays if you're around Lafayette, after school program.
Excellent.
Here at the clinic. Yeah, come on down.
We have a question about frying an egg.
I'm sorry, what?
What temperature or power level would you use to fry an egg?
Frying an egg, I would do 10. I put the oil in there, start off at 10. If you want to baste it, you saw when you put the lid on, you just hit it with a little water in there and just put If you want it sunny side up, oil down, crack your egg, put a little water, steam it, put the lid on, and you can have a nice sunny side up egg.
I have a question about the right and left burner.
Mhm.
What's the issue with that? You can't cook with both at the same time?
Okay, so what I would do, you saw how I made a stew here, and I wanted to make both. I would use that, I would start off with one, and I would cook high heat and everything here, and then I would put it to the side, and I would put it at 140 degrees to hold it. And then I would make the second thing. So if I had the double, I would have done them both here, one at a time, and then I turn them both down to 140 and leave them on the counter. So you can make rice and then turn it on low. You just can't have them both at high heat. It'll draw too much energy. But one can be just holding things and one while you're doing the other, while you're making the other part.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, it said something, it didn't say it like holding it. It's basically what I understood. It was saying that you couldn't have two, it was drawing too much power on one side at a time. So you,
Yes, you cannot have it on high heat or medium heat on both sides and be cooking two things at once. You can cook on one side, move it over to the second side. Like I moved that pot over to another burner. I would have just moved it to the second burner, turned it on low, and then started the next one on high. Does that make sense?
yeah, okay.
Do
So
you have the double burner?
yes.
Bring it on
Um,
over and let's cook.
I'm looking at the manual too for the double burner, and it says the
was
right
com-
burner requires a minimum of 400 watts to be available to operate. So if it's higher than power level, if the left burner is higher than power level 8.5, then the other one won't work.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so you have to keep it on low. It's a simmer. The whatever side needs is what you would move to simmer on one, cook on the other, and then turn them both down to simmer.
Okay.
And then if you were to switch them, you would just turn down the left burner so that the right burner can be made hotter.
Yes.
Okay.
Once you start using these stoves, they are so efficient and so easy to cook with. You saw how fast I did this. It's like I love it because it's like everything like that, and it makes it quick for me to be able to cook for like 20 people in just flat out time. And then if I have my oven too, I'll be roasting veggies, and then I'll be making two dishes to go with veggies and a salad, or just a salad in these two dishes. Maybe do some, a pot of brown rice or something to go with it. Easy. Does everybody have childcare? Is that what you guys have as childcare places? No? A few of
Some
you?
of some of you tuning in tonight are childcare providers if you want to like raise your hand or anything.
Yeah. And with children, you can change their palate, but it takes 9 times, up to 9 times of them tasting something. So it's not that they have to eat the whole plate. Just say, hey, take a bite. Hey, take a bite. All you have to do is take a bite. And if you feed them all together in a circle, because I teach a lot of children, it is the peer pressure. And if you see, little Becky eating this, and then she goes, I don't like it, and this one goes, oh, I love it, then she'll try a bite. And pretty soon, 80% of your kids, you're never going to get 100%. But 80% of the kids will eat almost everything you put in front of them if you give them the opportunity to taste. And they're going to act way better if you're feeding them nutritionally dense food, veggies, whole grains, things that have spices and flavors to it. When I was teaching, I was doing the food over at a daycare center. I was, trying to teach them that the children's palate will change. I got letters home from the parents like, oh my God, I can now take my kid out to a restaurant. They'll eat more than just white noodles and all white things. And it's like, wow, they're eating sauces. And they'll eat spicy food too, and let them be involved with it. The cool part about these is the kids can stir also, and you can get them to cut. They have these little great plastic knives. Have you seen those? The plastic cutware? Let them do that. What I'll do is I'll blanch off the carrots so that they're softer, so then they can cut them, which makes it really awesome. And then you just throw it in here.
Mm.
Anybody got any questions?
Somebody had said that they would like your contact information, so we can absolutely share that along with the times that participants are invited to go over.
Sure.
Does anybody have any questions they would like to ask out loud?
Okay.
All right. We
All
are
right.
coming up on our hour. So, Chef Cindy, are there any final things you want to leave the audience with?
Yes, don't be afraid to cook. Do not be afraid. It is so easy. You just need to learn the basics. And if you come out or you watch what we're doing, being able to know what order to put things in. And one of the greatest things that when I was teaching at Mount Diablo, I taught sophomores, juniors, and seniors. I should get an award for that because they're intense, is mise en place. Read the recipe, get everything. Mise en place means get everything in its place. Make sure you have everything all lined up like what I did, because then it's bam, bam, bam. Then you can just follow the recipe right down. But if you're running around, oh man, get the salt, get the oil, get this, it makes it really hard. And all you got to do is just slow down and make sure you have everything there. The hard part is finding a safe space to place the unit when cooking. Put it on a high table. Do you have a high top table? High counter? Put it in the back. Yeah.
So some people have asked whether or not they can actually put it over their existing stovetop. And if you were to look at Cindy's kitchen right now, the second
I don't know if
unit,
you can show. Can you see that? I got the second unit sitting right on top because I have a plug there and it's plugged in right there.
so there's, and for some of you, I mean, one of the things I'm advocating is that for some of us, it may well be that you don't have to actually replace your existing cooktop with a built-in induction unit, but that you might be able to get 1 or 2 burner portable induction cooktop and simply put it on top of your stove. Maybe tape the knobs into a position so that they don't accidentally get turned on.
Well, you just, I got to, oh, the stove. with
Yeah.
the-
Yeah, we had someone in the chat who just
so
said,
you can actually ignore your existing stove just for induction. Go ahead.
yeah, we had someone who said that their wife accidentally turned on the gas stove under it when they had put the induction unit on top, but they noticed very quickly. So yes, if you're gonna put it on top of your like normal stove, make sure that it's off and that it has like ventilation. You can also put them like you clear the space on your counter. It just needs its own plug. So like, yeah.
And safe, I mean, part of it is safe in this case is that it is safer around children. The children are not going to burn themselves on this unit. They're not going to be exposed to a flame. You know, so I mean,
She has to go pee again?
I'm sorry?
No.
Okay, I think
It
it's
says not to put the unit on top of the stove. Yes, I wouldn't
Thank
put
you.
on top of the gas burner, but I have it over here on my stove because there's a plug and it's an electric burner. What I like restaurateurs is that if you've ever gone to a buffet where they're making an omelet, a lot of times the chefs will use these kind of stoves. We've been using them for years when we go out to do catering, because it's so quick. And then when I'm done cooking, I can pick it up and put it over there and it's not a hot unit.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to put it on top of a gas stove, I would probably disable the gas burners. And that would even go so far as to turn off the gas supply. That may not be convenient. It may not be something that works for you because you still need your gas stove from time to time. But some of us do complain that we don't have enough space in our kitchens. But you know, at some point we're going to convert over to these induction, and we're going to get rid of those gas stovetops. So part of this process is learning how we can do that in a way that everybody feels comfortable doing it.
Well, also, for me, it's not about, you know, we're going to be converting to that. It's actually easier to use, and especially for one pot things. And if I've got my stove filled up with other stuff and I'm trying to teach a class, when I can roll my carts next to a plug and put a stove and have a cutting board and a couple of people working, they can actually be like what I just did, make their own pot of food. And I'm teaching everybody, instead of you guys being at home with your stuff, you're all here with me with your stove, and we've read the recipe, we got everything there, and then you're cooking and I'm going around making sure that everybody is made the same thing. It's really amazing. When we were in Richmond, we had 4 stoves. We had 6 stoves.
Did we?
We had 6 stoves. And so I had like 20 people cooking, and half of them were making the turkey and the other half were making the lentil stew. Everybody's came out the same at the same time because we just taught them to control the heat, and they had so much fun. And then everybody ate together. So that's the fun part right there. That's the fun part.
We had someone in the chat who said that they made the lentils and they were great. Somebody, Janelle, also said, you make this look so easy. I love the ideas you have for kids in the kitchen, and I would love more ideas to include little people to help.
Yes. On Wednesdays from 2 to 4, I have 6 and 7-year-olds that I teach. They cook. They love to roast veggies. They love to stir here. They love to do all that. It's getting them into the kitchen and just showing them, and they catch on really quick. So does anybody teach older kids or around like 4 or 5-year-olds? Anybody got those kids around?
I do.
Yeah, we could come up with some great stuff for you. You got to come out and see me, and I'll help you.
So one of the things that we are doing, we're a little slow, but we are going to be opening a website for all the participants here in the next couple of weeks. And there's going to be a lot of recipes on it. Cindy's contact information will be there. There will be videos available so that not only this video, so that you can see what we hear this evening, but we'll also have links to other videos and various other things. But we'll put a lot of recipes up there, a lot more recipes than the ones that we've been using in these demos. And I think probably we'll even classify them by kid-friendly or Asian or Italian.
Everything is kid-friendly. Kids, if you
I have a
give them the
question.
opportunity, they'll eat it. Yes.
Can you char on these inductions? Because I'm used to charring vegetables. My kids love charred vegetables.
Sure.
So I just do it real quick on top of the stove.
Yeah, why not? You could do that.
I
Yeah,
don't-
I do my cast iron stove. My
Oh, you
cast
put
iron
it
pan I
in,
put
you
on
use the
here.
cast iron, okay, because I know these pots here.
I use cast iron. And then
Okay.
I just, put a little oil and I just char them.
Okay, okay.
I'm perfectly capable of burning stuff in my induction at home. So that's
He
nothing out
chars,
of,
you char all the
yeah, I
time.
char it all the time, and it's totally unintentional. It's totally
So
good.
make sure to include African recipes. It's all in the spice. And when I was teaching at Mount, it was like the kids thought that Southern cooking was African, which is, I said, no, 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 no. We need to go back to the different countries where you think your family came from, and see what in Ethiopia, what spices they use, what grains they use, and it's all in the spice. It's the same onions, carrots, veggies, and it's all the spices that you put in there. So experiment with your palate, expand your palate, and it's the spice. It's not the food, it's the spice.
And then
Yeah.
we have,
I just want to make sure that we include those on the list, like you're saying, because I would love to explore making some of those types of foods with the spices, because I don't really,
Yes.
I don't cook that well now, but I want to learn.
Yes. Oh, would love to work with you on that. And then, you know, yeah, just, yes. Tell me what region you want, because each region has different spices and grains and veggies that they use. But a lot of sweet potato, a lot of, you know, veggies. It's not a lot of meat. It's a lot of good spices and grains. Ethiopia cook with, yeah, berbere and curry. Yeah. You could put that right in the lentil stew, that berbere, because we're already using the curry spices. And chicken, oh gosh, jerk the chicken or put whatever those spices on there. It's good.
Okay.
And then we have a question. Do you need a grounded outlet if your stovetop doesn't have one?
I don't think so.
Well, the plug is a 3-prong grounded plug.
No, it's 2.
It's a 3. That's a 3.
It's a 2.
Oh, that's a 2? Okay, well, in that case then, no, it doesn't have to be grounded. My bad, my mistake.
Yeah.
If any of you need to drop off, go ahead. This is more like a question and answer portion.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us and for coming. I hope you enjoyed it.
Come visit me. Come visit me and cook.
Okay. Now, where are you located again?
And Lafayette, right off.
Lafayette, okay.
Yeah.
I have the address.
Do you have high blood pressure? You can see the doctors here for free too.
Okay. Okay.
Y también a nuestros miembros de la comunidad que hablan español. Lo siento por no haber traducido las demostraciones. Fue muy rápido, entonces lo siento mucho, y si quiere más información o si quiere traducción o algo así, también puedo traducir las recetas para que las puedas usar, y las vamos a mandar a ustedes también. And this is Chef Jasmine. Let's give Chefs Jasmine and Cindy a big round of applause. Thank you so much. This was really cool.
We love to mentor. We love to mentor people. So come on out and we'll mentor you.
All right. Do we have any more questions or any final comments? I had just said that my apologies for not translating the rest of this demo. The cooking part started going really quickly. So that's my bad. But yeah, I'll translate these recipes too so that you can use them. Is just what I'm sharing is what I said in Spanish a minute ago. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, anyone. If you have any final questions, feel free to stick around. Otherwise, you are good to go.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Come visit. Come cook.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see.
Bye. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks you guys. I feel like this went really well. This was cool. It was cool seeing seeing it happen.
These stoves are terrific. And there's so many recipes that we could just keep posting on there. That would be great.
How many
Yes.
people, what was the attendance tonight?
36.
Yeah, there was
Cool.
a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, 36, not including us.
Oh,
Well,
Okay.
you know, once they see, they might want to come when they see what we're doing and ask them questions. We might want to, you know, let them know that they could come. Did you taste everything?
Yeah.
Did you taste it? Delicious? Good.
always.
It didn't, I don't think we saw it, but someone had said they should invent smell-o-vision so that we can
Yeah.
smell it from
Yeah,
here.
that's why they want to come here, because they can actually do hands-on and learn a lot.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they talked about smell-o-vision for a long time. This would be perfect for it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I think that went really well. It was cool that people were cooking along.
Yeah.
That was really cool to like hear. Yeah. I think if we were to do another one, it would be well received. And I think too, we had originally talked about maybe even like a childcare provider, like child
Oh, yeah.
centered one. That
Really
would be
good
really
thing.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. All right.
And
Chelsea,
then-
Doug.
We've, I make thoughts. Yep, go
That's
ahead.
good.
What's that?
What's up?
Oh, nothing. Just if we're good. Also, Cindy, could you email me the link to your column, please? That you write? Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep.
Thanks so much, guys. Sorry I couldn't be there. I am sick.
We'll catch up tomorrow, but thank you very much. Love it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. This went really well. Thank you,
Yep.
Chelsea. Thank you, Chef Jasmine and Chef Cindy.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.